it's me again, Joe. Welcome back to another video, and for today, I'm just going to present to you somewhat new or random video which I did not really plan. It just came into my mind a couple of minutes ago, and it's kind of what you call this one impulsive decision to film this type of video with this type of content. So basically, in this video, I'm just going to compare to you the three books or the three series, rather, adult fantasy series that I previously finished. For example, started reading some of these books way back in 2018, 2019, and these three series are actually all trilogies. So somewhat they are on the same level when it comes to length, the same genre, the same category. So it just came to my mind if I'm just going to do some ranking for the total of 9 books out of 3 trilogies, which is the worst of these 9 books and which is the best. So these trilogies are going to be the Book of Ancestor trilogy by Mark Lawrence, which is composed of Red Sister, Grey Sister, and Whole Sister. The Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, which is really famous, which is composed of The Final Empire, The Well of Ascension, The Hero of Ages, and the last trilogy is basically somewhat a little bit sci-fi-ish because there is a lot of science fiction element into it, but it does have also good amount of fantasy element, and this is N.K. Jemisin's Hugo Award-winning series or trilogy, which is the Broken Earth trilogy, which the first book is the 5th season, second book is The Obelisk Gate, and the third and final book is the Stone Sky. So yep, without further ado, based on the 9 books I presented to you, I think the worst of the 9. And by the way, before I start presenting the books, just set the expectations. I am not doing this because I am disrespecting someone. I want to disrespect someone. I just want to say this because this is what I personally feel towards the books and the series. So if you're a fan, if you love this book, if you do disagree on my opinions, I highly respect that. And also I respect in case you don't agree with me. And that's one thing about book community, because books tries to triggers conversation, tries to triggers topics that maybe probably will get us together or give us something to talk about in the future, or that's what's so special about the book community. So yep, again, I would highly I apologize if I might hurt someone's ego or your opinion does not fit to my opinion, but again, setting expectations is my personal opinion, of which for me is the worst of the 9 books I'm going to present, which is the best. So yeah, and if you have read also all of the trilogies, I also am really curious of how well you're going to rank them. If you also agree to me, if you disagree, if you have your own placement of the 9 books, I am really excited to know them, and kindly please share them on the comment down below. So yep, let's start with the number 9. For me, the worst of all these books that I'm going to present to you, and probably the only book that I gave 2 stars, I think, or 3 stars. I'm not really sure. It's really forgettable. And that is the second book of the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, and this is The Well of Ascension. I was really angry. Not just angry, borderline angry. Let's just say it that way, so that I might not will not sound that ranting. I'm not ranting, guys. I'll be explaining myself why I did not really like this one. I was disappointed this one. First of all, I do find it really dragging. Second, I find most or the first half or some elements of the book not really really necessary. There's also some characters that I do feel that does not have any or do not have any impact to the entire story itself. I just really felt that this one just really suffered the middle book syndrome, and yep, but still, it's great. It's a great series, great book, but it is a disappointment. The 8th and second worst book I am going to present to you is going to be Red Sister by Mark Lawrence, the first book of the Book of the Ancestor trilogy. The main reason why I place this one on the 8th spot is because it is not that bad compared to this one. It is not just it is not just that good compared to the rest of the books I'm going to present to you. Basically, Red Sister by Mark Lawrence is the first book of the Ancestor Trilogy. And the main reason why I'm placing it in the 8th place is that because, first of all, I do find that the world building was really took a lot of time or took a lot of pages on the story. There's less plots, more of the character development and world building, which kind of bored me. And also, there were some expectations that were not met. I was just really hyped of how good the book is, and then when I read it, it just gave me that. So I just really expected a lot, I think, and maybe it was my disappointment, or maybe my expectations were not met, that resulted to me quite a bit disappointed for Red Sister. But overall, I just really enjoyed this one, and this actually was one of the best, still one of the best start of the epic trilogy for me. And yep, I highly recommend this one. Books 2 and 3 are basically better thanks to this one. Books 2 and 3 will never be that kind of quality without how well this book started the foundation of the story. So kudos to Mark Lawrence for that. The 7th book in this list is going to be the second book of the Broken Earth Trilogy by M.K. Jemisin, and this is the Obelisk Gate. I am kind of disappointed also for this one, but I still gave it 5 stars. The main reason why I gave this, or I was disappointed, because I do feel the first half of the book was really boring. It was really dragging, a lot of info dumping. I was really expecting after how the first book ended, everything will just continue to roll on. The momentum will be the momentum will continue to grow and grow. And eventually, when I started reading this one, it was just a disappointment. The first half of the book was really boring. I actually DNF'd this. I started reading this one way back in 2018 and read it after 8 months or 6 months, I think. But I finished the half or the remaining half of the book in just 2 days. Imagine, that's how good that last parts of this book is, and still worthy of the Hugo Award. And I can totally see why some did not really love this, which is, again, the first half was really boring and a lot of info dumping. The 6th placer on the list is going to be the second book of the Ancestor Trilogy by Mark Lawrence. This is The Grey Sister. I do feel that this is a really good book. It just surpassed all my expectations. It redeemed the trilogy after a little bit of disappointment for the Red Sister. Grey Sister started really slow, but the character development and the plot development and some plot twist really, redeemed itself, redeemed the trilogy for me. The story widened, the world widened, magic system were really explored, more action, and yep. I just don't want to spoil you guys if you haven't read this one, but this one is a really great. It did not suffer this middle book syndrome as what the Well of Session did, and it's actually kind of long, but all of this, or all the things that happened in this one, were actually noteworthy. So yep. The 5th, I think the fourth book on the list is going to be The 5th Season by N.K. Jemisin. This is the first book of the Broken Earth Trilogy. The 5th Season is a Hugo Award and Nebula Award for Best Science Fiction Fantasy, made back in 2016, I think, or 17. I think 16 or 17. I'm not really sure. This is the first book of the Broken Earth Trilogy by N.K. Jemisin, which the second and third book also won the Hugo Award. At 16, I can see it here. It's 16. Really sorry. And yep. This book blew me away. After reading this one, I just realized that I can see why people is loving this. This is very genius. N.K. Jemisin just really made or took us into a dystopian world where while I was reading this one, I can totally agree. This is how I imagined the world when it is about to end. It is very realistic, and the characters were well crafted. The plot was well directed, and there's a lot of unexpected things that happened in this one, which really entertained me and blew me away. So, yep, one of the best start also in adult science fiction books that I've read. The third bronze medalist for best books that I'm going to present to you is going to be the finale of the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, and this is the Hero of Ages. And I think I missed something. Just a moment. I forgot. Before we proceed to the Hero of Ages, I think the fourth placer is going to be Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. The first book, or this is the Final Empire. I don't know why they call it Mistborn, but I think the original title for this is Final Empire, and they tried to change it to Mistborn for marketing purposes, I think. But Mistborn, or the Final Empire, the first book of the Mistborn, or the Mistborn trilogy by Brandon Sanderson, was actually the first book of all of these 9 that I presented to you that I've read. And I read this because of the hype, and because it was recommended to me by most of my friends and people that I follow on Instagram and on BookTube. Mistborn, you can really tell after reading Mistborn that how great or how genius Brandon Sanderson is as an author. This book, made me a fan of Brandon Sanderson. The magic system was really epic, and also the characters. It was really confusing. This is my introduction to adult science fiction. I mean, adult fantasy, and I did struggle a little bit. Understandable, because this is the first adult fantasy I've read in my entire life. And when I was actually on the middle, or actually towards the end, everything just went really fast. I was able to grasp and familiarize his writing style, also the adult category, and it's highly politically intrigued. A lot of characters I need to follow, but the magic system really, pulled me into the world. Also, the character skills here and Vin. And also, there's one thing I didn't like really about this book is that it's really dark and really atmospheric. And I always feel that every time I'm reading this one, or while I was reading this one, I always feel cold, dirty, and it's always dark in the world. So, kudos to the author, to Brandon, for making the readers feel that way. That means it's really effective. But at the same time, I did not like that one because it's kind of depressing mood, dark mood, wet, and dirty feeling while reading a book is not good for me. So, but with regards to the story, the plot, the world, magic system, the magic system, and yep, going back, the third, you were spoiled already, and this is again the third and final book of the Mistborn trilogy, and this is the Hero of Ages, talking about how to end a trilogy, how to end the trilogy with a bang. I think Hero of Ages just really was one of the most satisfying books that I've read in terms of as an ending or a conclusion of a trilogy or a series. The Hero of Ages just blew me away. I do find the first parts a little bit dragging, and I was disappointed at first, but when I reached the middle and towards the end, everything were answered. A lot of questions that I've been asking for the first 2 books were really answered, and that really satisfied me. That's why heads down to Brandon Sanderson. I can see reading this one, I was really amazed by how well Brandon Sanderson planned the plot or the story all throughout the trilogy. You were able to realize or understand why did he do this or introduce this in the first book, because okay, after reading the third book, that makes everything makes sense actually. So yep, kudos Brandon Sanderson. I'm always going to be a fan of yours, and will always be. This one for me is so far the best book that you've written. For me, it's the best book I've read from you. And the second book in the list is going to be Holy Sister by Mark Lawrence. I know some of you will disagree if you've read the book of the Ancestor trilogy. The third and the final book of the book of the Ancestor trilogy is way better than the Hero of Ages. That's based on my opinion. This one, the first half of the book was, how do you call this one? Beyond Oblivion, if there's that kind of term, Beyond Oblivion. It was really out of this world. I was actually really hooked at the first half, and I don't know. I'm really careful, guys, what thing to say because I don't really want to spoil you. I do really find this one short because I always do feel that it could be longer. This is my only complaint about this one. But the first half, especially the things that happened in the middle, was really mind-blowing. Like, mind-blowing. The character development, the relationship development between characters were outstanding, and the plot being laid out, all the answers were being laid out. It was just really epic. Action, magic, and also how Mark Lawrence explored the magic system and really made the readers, grasp everything about how magic system, the potential or the full potential of magic system was utilized in this book was really amazing, also, and really entertaining. So yep. Also, I just really need you to read this one, guys. This is the best of the book of the Sister Trilogy for me, and epic as epic. But there's one book that is better than this one. This is only the second one. For me, the best book of the 9 books that I presented to you is going to be The Stone Sky by N.K. Jemisin. For me, this is the king or queen of all the books that I presented to you. The Stone Sky made me cry. The Stone Sky, entertained me. The Stone Sky broke my heart. The Stone Sky made me angry, made me sad, made me want to punch a wall. Got me confused, of course, because there's still a lot of info dumping, which I forgave the book because everything made sense right towards the end. And character development was also there. The plot, how deep the plot is, and how genius N.K. Jemisin is trying to hide the bigger picture, or the biggest, or the biggest reveal that you could imagine on the series that you're going to read. How well she hit it on the first 2 books. Basically, after reading this, or the first half of reading this, I actually don't really have any idea how the book will end. It's really hard to predict. All my predictions of the story or the plot of this book were wrong. I was expecting this one, but what happened was totally out of this world, like literally out of this world. And talking about a masterpiece, this one deserves the Hugo Award for 2018, I think. This one won the 2018 Hugo Award. And just wow. Hobo was the best of the best. This book contains one of the best, characters I've read in the books that I've read in my entire life. And very satisfying, very, very heartwarming, full of action, full of magic, and with a twist of sci-fi, of course. So, atmospheric, cinematic, great set of characters, genius writing. Even though I know some of you will not agree if you've read the first book or if you've tried to read the Broken Earth Trilogy, the writing style of N.K. Jemisin is not the usual that you encountered. But promise me, guys, it will give you a different experience if you're going to read the Broken Earth Trilogy. And if you reach reading this one, you'll get used to it, and you'll probably will be able to appreciate and love N.K. Jemisin more. So, yep. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I know I've been talking a lot in this video. Sorry for the grammar lapses. I just came from the office. Took some nap, probably 5, played some video games, ate some bread, and then got bored, tried to read, and then something came into my mind like, oh wow, what if I'll film this? And yeah, this is happening right now. So thank you so much, guys, and Happy New Year again. Read Broken Earth Trilogy, Book of Ancestor, and also the Mistborn. you're not going to regret.
Bye-bye.